Good morning. So I want to share about this experience I've just had about moving back into my house in Pai. Anyway, before I get into this video, I just want to give a little prelude, I guess. I think there's some of you that are in a place right now where you're kind of maybe a bit sick of the lifestyle that you have at the moment and are looking at doing something new and something different in a different kind of place, and maybe that's why you're drawn to this channel. And I don't want to like glorify it, and I don't think I do, but the challenges don't stop. Doesn't matter that my external environment has changed, I still have a lot of internal challenges to deal with that get reflected in my external environment. So I guess what I'm saying is, if you're running away from things, or you try and you want to avoid things, or you just like want to escape, it only works for so long, and then those, whatever you're running away from, they find you and they appear in a different form wherever you are. So yeah, and I'm going to tell you more about how that has appeared for me lately. So let's go for a walk outside. For a while now, my house has been overrun by rats, and before I got back from Nahau, there were already rats living inside the house, but I could never find them, but I could smell them. And I know the smell of rats because you guys are going to think I'm so gross. Because when I was young, I had pet rats. This kid that I grew up with since we were young, he got pet rats. And then I was like, these rats are so cool, I want a pet rat too. So then I got pet rats. And I know that when you don't clean their home, they smell. Anyway, when I came back from Nahau, they'd completely taken over basically. Having bank here has been like really helpful, because I've been too shy to ask the owner if I could take all the stuff that was in storage underneath my bedroom. So it's like inside the house, but like underneath the house. There was like a whole bunch of stuff down there that wasn't mine, it was already there, and it was just kind of using it as storage. And so there was a mattress there, there was like smell coming from that, and there had also been like a stray cat that had moved in while I was away. And I know this because there was like this big tub of kitty litter that I had cleaned out before I left, and when I came back there was so much cat poo in it. Anyway, bank asked the landlord if we could take everything out, and he was like, yeah. It was like that easy, but I'm really shy. That's something that I could like not do, was go to the landlord and be like, can I take all your stuff out? That's just so scary for me. So when that happened, it was such a huge relief, because as everything got cleaned out, I felt like I was, cleaning out a lot of baggage, I guess, of myself. I want to explain this more and better, so give me a sec. Like, what I believe is that our external reality is a reflection of our inner world, and like, it's quite embarrassing for me to say like how gross my house had gotten, and that it was infested with rats, and it gets worse than that. I haven't gotten to that point yet though. It's a little bit embarrassing to say this, because that's what I believe, and the state that my house was in was so disgusting. But that really reflects how unclear and neglected my inner world, my soul, my inner world, my spiritual health. Thank you, Jasmine, for saying spiritual health, because it's exactly what I'm getting at, has been. And so, basically we cleaned all that out. I was feeling really good. I was like, this is a nice start, because I've got so many things that I've been putting off doing because I don't want to do them. Some of them I just like couldn't be bothered doing. Some things I didn't have an answer for. I didn't know how to move forward. And then there were just like a lot of little things, like replying to people. Now I've got all these things stuck in my trousers. just found these swings. Anyway, sometimes I don't reply for months, like not even over exaggerating, sometimes I don't reply for months. Some of these things I do want to do, some things I don't want to do, but all of them, no matter how small or big they are, they've been like burdening me, because they're always on my mind. Like every day when I wake up, I'm like, okay, I've got that thing that I'm not doing. Slowly, these things like begin to rot, because they just are stuck inside me, and I don't do anything to shift them out of my, like, you know, experience. And so it doesn't create any space for like new stuff, and it just like takes up this capacity on my mind, and yeah, it just starts to rot inside me. And that's like, you know, why when I saw that my house had been taken over by rats, I always look at my external environment and ask myself, what does this represent about the energy that's in my life at the moment? And in some ways the rat symbol is like good, and I can see how it applies to me, because one of the things about the rat as an animal, as an energy, is that they're very resourceful. And that is an energy of the rat that I very much resonate with, because I am very resourceful. Like, I've been able to find ways to keep myself afloat, or keep this lifestyle going. When we cleaned out the house, underneath the house, so it was just felt like, okay, now that my external environment is starting to clean up, I feel like this is like a bit of a nudge of like, Jane, like get some stuff done that you haven't been doing, and you'll feel like clean inside too. So I use that energy to kickstart my fire again. But then a week later, I started smelling the smell of dead rat, or just dead animal. And you know the smell of dead animal, it's horrendous. We tried to find it. I thought it would be in the ceiling. Last night we slept with all the doors and windows open, but because the smell was coming from there, it was like not doing anything. Ugh, gross. It smells so bad. Yay. My hero.
Not yet.
My hero for even going up there in the first place. I would not go up there. But it wasn't in the ceiling.
Oh, so long time, baby.
Oh, really?
Long time ago. Oh, but why I feel this not so hot now?
Ew.
Maybe my nose die now. Oh, maybe we can find them yet.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck this. Yay, we found it. Yeah.
Good work.
Maybe can you take up half the mask?
Oh, yeah. You don't need to be scared, Sun. Look how relaxed Tala is. Just copy him. You're literally where my head goes. Oh, really? Oh, he's got it.
Oh, really? อะไรครับ ครับ
Oh. So weird that it's down there.
โอ้หนู
Có bị ý thế à?
อุ้ย
Oh, gross.
Ý luôn ấy.
Oh, and the baby
Oh.
one. Got Pumaka.
Bí thế à?
เยอะมากอ่ะ
Oh, it smells so bad.
Biết chỉ ý luôn ấy.
โอ้ thank you
Oh, wow. So, that smell when he lifted out the dead rat, oh, it was the most disgusting thing I've ever smelled. It was like 1,000 times worse than what I could smell in here. But more importantly, I was like, okay, there's a dead rat. Like, what does that represent? What does that mean then? What's going on with that? Yeah, when I looked into it, it meant that there was something that I wasn't finding any resolve to. Like there was something unresolved, like something big unresolved. And I was like, yeah, there is a massive thing unresolved going on for me right now. I did this Kickstarter campaign this year. It was my second one, related to the Oracle deck. I wanted to make like little mini films for each card in the Oracle deck so that people could experience them through film, just like little short ones, like maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, depending on however it turned out. But they would be based on the writing from the guidebook, which I didn't write. My ex-partner wrote. You know, when I put up the Kickstarter campaign, I was really, really keen on this. Like, this is something that I had been wanting to do for over a year. When I went to do the Kickstarter, at first it got declined. And I was like, what? And then they said, like, you just need to, like, you know, change some stuff about it. So I did the adjustments and it got approved. But then I clicked it too fast to make it go live, and I put it on like a 6-week or 8-week thing anyway. I had to cancel it straight away and then reapply, and then when I reapplied it got declined again. I had to go through like, you've already approved it. I just fucked up basically and trying to get it going. And so yeah, it took a few goes, and I should have seen this as a sign of like, no, this isn't your path forward. But instead I like forced it to happen, you know. And so it was never meant to be the way for me. I used the money to pay for an annual subscription to a video and audio stock site. So I've already put the money into that. And I ordered a microphone. I waited for like a month for this microphone, and then after like a month of waiting, the order was cancelled by the company I'd placed the order with, because they were unable to find stock for it or something. Made another order and waited for that to come through, so I finally got this microphone. But you see, all these steps along the way were like, no, you're not meant to be doing this. And I had always wondered why. And then when I finally got the microphone, I started recording my voice, and I was just like, this isn't feeling good. And I spent a long time, like I've spent like 2 months, maybe close to 3, thinking about, why does this not feel right? And I wondered if it was because, you know, they're the words that my ex-partner wrote. And she taught me a lot about my spiritual knowledge that I have. And so when I read her words, I just hear her voice and the way that she expresses, you know, those words. And so when it comes to me recording, because I have her voice in my head, when I go to record and it's my voice, I feel like it doesn't match the words. And I can't record it in, you know, by putting on like expressing in a way that she would have expressed it in, because it's just not me. But then it doesn't feel right for me to be saying her words. So I thought about, is this just my issue? Do I just need to get past this? Like, do I just need to be like, come on, just think of this as if you were a voice actor and you've been paid to like do this, you wouldn't have this problem. But then I thought about all those signs of like that I wasn't supposed to do this, and I really forced this to happen. And so I've come to the conclusion, I think, that I'm not supposed to do the project. But then there's a number of people who have bought the deck based on me creating the video series. And so I don't know what to say to them. In my past job as a digital producer, if things went wrong or we found out we couldn't code something in a way, I never went back to the client and was like, we can't do it. I always went back with a solution, like, okay, the original way isn't working, but we can do it this other way. Are you cool with that? And so that's what I've been waiting for. But it feels like a big burden, because I can't think of the alternative way. I'm feeling a little bit sick from being on that swing. Like, I know I want to create another Oracle deck myself, just alone, with my talismans. So maybe I'm supposed to do the video project with that. So that has been just like eating away at me every day, because I don't I don't have an answer right now. So yeah, that's my burden. Oh wow, I've got flowers now. Wow. After we cleaned out everything under the house, that night we went to Malamong, the tea cafe that I showed in the last vlog, and a new friend, Uma, she had an oracle deck with her, not my one, another one, and she asked me if I wanted an oracle reading, and I was like, yes. You know, these things happen when the universe says, like, you need to hear this. And so I pulled 3 cards. Who am I? What am I here for? And like, what's going on for me? First card I pulled was infinite possibilities, as like a who am I? It's true. I feel like I've lived many lifetimes in this one life. So infinite possibilities, yeah, that's who I am. What am I here for? Was reunion of souls. And I was like, wow. Because I really do feel like this weird tingly feeling every time I meet somebody that, you know, feels like, you know, with my pen pals and with my partners and friends or family, you know. I feel like it really is a reunion of souls. The last card, it said burden. That was a heavy one to open, to reveal. The card said burden. But on this card was an ant, you know, doing something, carrying something, or trying to carry something. And as you know, if you've watched my previous videos, I watch ants a lot. I've always been fascinated by them. When I was young too, at my mum's house, when I'd go on the weekends, I'd just watch all the ants in the garden. One thing that my ex-partner taught me about ants. Sometime I saw like this tree, when she said it to me, we were looking at a mango tree and there was this area that had been taken over by like aphids or something. It didn't look healthy, you know, it looked like that there was some kind of infection going on. And these ants were cleaning away these aphids and taking stuff away, and they were doing something. And she said they're the cleaners. And I was like, oh, okay. And then after that I would watch them, they carry away their dead ants so that the dead ants get like bacteria on them or something, that it won't spread to the colony. So I always see these ants cleaning away these like frozen dead ants. It's weird. But yeah, cleaners. So when I saw this card burden, Uma was like, whew, heavy. How do you deal with this? How do you cope? What do you do? And I was like, so I saw that ant and I saw it clean, you know, the burden, cleaning away all the burdens. I was like, this is exactly what I need to do. And that was what happened on the day that the downstairs got cleaned out. So it was already like, you know, starting. That's why I felt already such a huge like weight off my shoulders. And so then the dead rat smell came. We took all of that away, and that meant that all of the rats were gone. I'm so happy now that the house has been cleaned, because it feels clean and I feel like I want to make over all the rooms. So I'm ending my house hunt. So that last episode with the house hunt, that's the last one, made me realise how much I appreciate my house that I already have. I just need to look after it. And there's so much I want to do with it to reclaim my space and make it my own and get an inspiring space. I've got a list of all my burdens. At the moment I'm working through those. Some days I feel like overwhelmed by them. I feel like I only did one thing, you know, and it'll be like something that took me 1 hour. For some reason it took me one thing, because for whatever reason other stuff happens, you know, during the day. Come on, internet. I'm just working through those one by one and trying to not put like time around it. It's like it's going to take as long as it takes, as long as every day I'm getting through them.
Gonna come, internet.
Here comes Bank. Water. Water. Oh, haircut! Nice! Okay, I'm gonna help you. Ow. Nice as you got one more. I can't carry the. Thank you so much to everyone who is leaving comments and sending me messages and just saying really amazing stuff. I'm actually blown away by the messages that I receive from you guys. So heartwarming, so like yeah, I'm just like wowed by it. It really touches my heart in ways that you wouldn't know. But yeah, so thank you for sharing your stories with me. On that note, there are some comments that I get on the channel, and I see in the like little notification, I can see like a preview of it. Sometimes I can't see it all. And when I go to click on it and I look in the back, like the dashboard, the comment doesn't exist at all. And I don't know if it's because there's like a word in there that has the word in it or something like that, that it's been maybe like, you know, like intercepted. But I just want you to know that I think that I see those comments come through. Maybe I don't see all of them. Maybe there's more than I am aware of. But so I haven't been able to reply to those comments. I still see them though, and thank you so much. There's, and I know Michael, you sent me a comment and it had nothing worth intercepting about. Like there was no like mention of like, no, I can't see it anywhere in my dashboard. So sorry about that. I don't know what's going on, but thank you so much. Okay. Are you just going to wait for it to pass?
Yes.
The snake is sunbathing.